Meaning, you ever been in the airport and when you don't get your flight on time, you get delayed, and you could be standing by some people and they get mad and they almost make you mad? You're like, man, I wasn't even trying to get mad, but they making me mad. Never even realizing life may be protecting you from something. Like, it's like the 9/11 incident. I was doing some research on it. I'll never forget. I'm doing research on it. Terrible incident. A lot of people lost their lives. Senseless act. And it talked about in this article the other side of it. And in the other side, what they spoke about was that morning, a gentleman had to take his daughter to kindergarten, and he really wanted to get to some meetings, but because he had to take his daughter to kindergarten, he couldn't make it to the meetings on time, and so he just called out the whole day, and his wife asked him that morning, he was getting dressed, his wife said to him, can you please take our daughter to kindergarten? He said, I really need to be at these meetings. She said, can you please take our daughter to kindergarten? I really need to be at work. He said, I really need to get to these meetings. She asked him one more time, can you please? I beg you, can you please? He said, all right, I'll do it. He called in, didn't go to work that day, and because he took his daughter to kindergarten, it spared his life. One gentleman on the New Jersey Turnpike, headed to the same buildings, New Jersey Turnpike, accident happens, breaks down, can't get there on time, and because it happened, a situation that he couldn't control, it spared his life. One gentleman got a new pair of shoes, walking to work, got a blister on his foot. He had to go back home, change his shoes, and because he had to go back home to change it, it saved his life. One gentleman walking down the street, they send him to get some donuts. A guy comes, spills some coffee on his shirt. He had to go and change his shirt. Because he had to go and change his shirt, it spared his life. The other side. Meaning things happening out of their control, and because it happened out of their control, it spared their life. Meaning at a certain point, when do we control the controllables? Attitude. When do we control the controllable? Focus. When do we control the controllables? Commitment, dedication, spirit, the energy and the passion that I bring into an environment. When do we control the controllable? I couldn't control. I got a paralyzed right arm and hand. I couldn't control my career ended. I couldn't even plan for it. But when it happened, I could step back and say, okay, life, I can no longer play the game of football, but let me extract that dedication and commitment from the game. I can step back and say, my arm and my hand is paralyzed. My dedication isn't. My purpose isn't. My arm and my hand is paralyzed. My work ethic, it isn't. My purpose isn't. My arm and my hand is paralyzed. My dedication isn't. My purpose isn't. Meaning my reason for why I first started, it never got paralyzed. And as talented, as brilliant, as strong as people are, it's the saddest thing in the world when I see people just stop giving everything they got to something that they once loved. Because I think we all know the raw truth of it is people don't burn out because of what they do. People burn out because life makes them forget why they do it. Meaning life hits them and hits them with something till they just like, man, if I got to go through that, like I'm not bringing it today, man. And every day is not a good day. Everything is not all peaches and cream. But that's why the culture is so important. That's why when the culture is set, we know what we bring to it, and we know how we get down because we know what we're working for, and the purpose of it is greater than any individual.